Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Tangled Silver Magazine's The Ageless Lounge. And today we are speaking with the fabulous Diane Britt Smith. She's an actor, model, photographer, content creator. Like you name it, you're pretty much doing it these days, aren't you, Diane?
Robin, thank you very much. Yes, I'm trying to do a lot.
And looking fabulously silver while you're doing it. That's amazing. Uh,
Thank you.
Diane, I like to start off asking you when I say to you, I think you're an ageless woman. Would you tell me what that stirs up for you?
Well, I love that question, and I've never really thought about it until you mentioned it. We are the age we are, and if we didn't know what age we were, we'd have to guess based on what? Based on society's definition and attribution of how we look, how we move. So that brings me to how I live my life. I want to move and look as best as I possibly can every single day. And there is no number assigned to that. Now, if you think about Social Security benefits or the senior citizen discount at the movie theater, I am proud and loud to say my age.
Right, right, right. Yep. That's the way it should be. Like I'm like you. I'm never afraid to tell you how old I am. But again, our age is not what makes us relevant, right? Like it's not a measure for why we're relevant or not relevant. It's what we're doing in
Right.
life that makes that change. And I love watching you because you are one of those true, in my opinion, women that speaks to the fact that the brands are starting to take notice, right? They are starting to hire more and more women that actually look like us, speak to us, right? Like you are truly one of those women that they are finally going, like some of the larger brands are finally starting to acknowledge that. Can you share what that's been like for you to kind of step into that at this point?
Sure, it's been incredible. I started as an actor model part time in DC when I lived there and was working just commercial stuff, extra or background work, they call it now. And I didn't have gray hair. I didn't have much gray hair. So I just fit in with the crowd. Wasn't able to continue doing too much of that because my job fortunately allowed me to move up. And as a manager, you can't leave for auditions. So I put it on pause, except for a few things. At age 58, I decided to retire. By this time, we had established a residence in New York City. And I decided it was time for me to pivot to my purpose, which is the title of my soon to launch brand. And I realized when casting directors and agents started contacting me that there is a place for us, my demographic, in commercials, whether that's print or on television. We have great purchasing power. We spend a lot of money on a lot of things, and they can sell us things by showing us on TV. Think about Flo for Progressive. She sold a whole bunch
Yep.
of insurance, and now they're adding Depend, the things and products that we use that people used to go.
Right.
So, yes, there's a market for us because we spend money, a lot of it in the
Yes,
marketplace.
yes. Well, I think it's lovely that they're starting to recognize that because I feel like if you think about some of the large brands, and I'm not going to name brands, but if you think of some of the large brands out there, really, I kind of feel like some of them are as large as they are today because we were spending our dollars from our young days on up, right?
Yes,
We've been supporting them all these years. So that kind of makes us like beauty warriors in a sense. We've experimented, we've tried everything. We know what we like, we know what we want, and we are going to spend money on the things that we know work for us, especially when you speak to us with using women again that look like us or are
yes,
relevant to us age wise, or life experiences. When you're trying to sell a wrinkle cream, and I love all those young gals, they look beautiful and they have no wrinkles, but at 22 I had no wrinkles either, right?
exactly.
So I love that they're finally recognizing, like, don't sell to women that are 50 plus, 45 plus, using a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, because you're not really speaking our language at that point, right? So
There,
I love that.
I
And
agree. And then there's an extra point, icing on the cake. Not only are they, and I will name brands because I have my favorite, they're the ones that I use, not necessarily the ones that I do commercials for. That's two different things. They are not just selling and marketing to us, they are developing products specifically for us. I participated in a research study about a month ago and was brought in. It was a large company. I don't know the name of it, although there are very few beauty companies. I think the major two are L'Oreal and Estee Lauder, and every other brand that we know comes under there. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's the
yeah,
case. But again, I don't know who the company was. But they asked me a million questions about skincare and what attracts me when I'm purchasing something, how it feels, how I feel as a result of using it. So they are starting with the science and going up from there to develop these products. Laura Geller is one of my favorite brands. I've worked with them. I did not know about them. I didn't watch QVC very much, and Laura Geller has been on QVC, but she markets and develops for people our age. And I stopped using another brand when I um, discovered her or discovered Laura Geller Beauty. And it's made me even happier to know that they are developing products for us.
yeah, that's the important thing. So okay, so I'm going to break my rule. I just I wasn't going to name products, but I guess when it's like I am going to name one of the products that supports our magazine, and it allows me to do things like this. Have you come on here and talk with us? And it's Silver and Beauty, same concept. A woman product who she actually is a silver woman that went silver when she was having her baby, and has worked to make products that work for us to keep our silvers the way we want them to look at their best, rocking and really truly did the same thing. Scientifically kind of went into things. Let's figure out what really works for us.
Yes.
And so when you're talking about products that do that by a woman, I would say like women walking the talk, women living the journey. It's so much easier when you meet someone like that and you feel that connection, right? I mean, we all like, know, love, right? That's kind of who you work with, who you hang out with, people
Yes.
that you can trust and feel with. And so when it's a woman walking that pattern, she knows what you're feeling, she hears what you're saying, you feel heard. It makes it so much easier to support and spend our dollars on the products that we feel good about and make us feel good.
Amen to that.
So this is fun time on this, but I really want to pivot. I'm going to pivot because I want to give you an opportunity to share with us what you're going to be doing and what you're pivoting to for us. So share that with us.
So I discovered in the process of moving from one career to another that it might be labeled a pivot. Even though when I think about it throughout my career, and I guess this is true of everybody, we pivot a million times. You pivot when you go from this department to that department in the same company. You pivot when you have a baby. You pivot when you are divorcing. Whatever it is, it could be labeled a pivot. Some by your choice and others not. This career change was a by choice pivot. And I realized after talking to a bunch of people my age, younger and older specifically, they want to leave their jobs, but they don't have anything to go to. I'm a firm believer that you don't run from something, you run toward it. I know a lot of people who left their jobs prematurely and are mad at themselves because they didn't have anything to run to. There's nothing wrong with being a couch potato, as my generation calls it. But science shows if you just sit on the couch, don't stimulate your brain, don't stay active, don't exercise, you age faster. Cognitively, you decline.
Yes.
Physically, you decline.
Yes.
And eventually, you're going to all the way decline. So that was important
Right.
to me to realize yes, it's time for me to do this myself, and that other people might need some information on how to do it. So, my soon to be launched brand, Pivot to Your Purpose, will include hopefully a course that gives people a framework to do just that, to push the button on moving to their next thing, whatever that is. It could be something they monetize, or it could be just volunteering in a larger way than they do it. It could be, I don't know what to do, I've been divorced, or even something as seemingly simple as your kids go to college or they move across the country. For a lot of people, that's
Mm.
heartbreaking. And others is
Yeah,
like,
it's that.
yes,
Yeah,
let me show you the door. But everybody
right,
does things
right.
differently. That's a pivot. So how do I do that well? I know a lot of women through this journey who are interested in being in front of the camera and don't know how to do that. So I would love to be able to show them, coach them. I'm getting a life coaching certification on how to make that pivot. How do I sit in front of this camera and talk to people, sell my products, whatever it is? So that's why I'm doing it. It will be an Instagram page, a YouTube channel. I'm planning a book and a coaching practice.
Nice. That's awesome. I love the title, Pivot to Your Purpose. And I like that you also said that could be a monetary purpose. It could be that soul purpose, right? The
Absolutely.
what you've been looking for so long, right? I mean, that's what I love because I feel like especially women get lost at this point in time. We're told what it's supposed to look like. We're told what we're supposed to be doing at this point. Or like you said, the couch potato thing. Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, talking about ageless, throw that in there. We can choose to be a couch potatoes and age that way, or we can choose to be the best we are today, knowing that we can't stop the aging process,
Yes.
but we can make it smoother, right? Make it more enjoyable for us. I mean, we are not our grandmothers, right? Like my grandmother is beautiful, and my great grandmother is also beautiful. But I look at where they were at the same age. I'm 57, and where she was at 57, like the roles were so different than what we can do now. So when there's all these stereotypical things that were telling us, oh, you get over 50 and life goes downhill. It's like no, life kind of is just starting for a lot of people
That's
over
right.
50 because a we can afford to enjoy it now. um, B, we have the wisdom and we just don't give a bleep what other people think necessarily. Whereas in our younger days, sometimes we're worried about what Mary might think or what Jill might think if we do this and that. Whereas now we're at the point where like come along if you want to, but if not, that's okay too. So I love that you're pivoting with purpose. If you had a word of wisdom for somebody, I mean, you've got this wonderful stuff that's coming up that they can come and glean to you for more. But what would be like just the one thing that you think people should think about when they're at that space? Like, what would be like one word of wisdom from your pivoting would you say is important to consider?
So I would say figure out what brings you joy. What brings you the most joy? With all the noise that's in your life, all the noise that's around us, things we can't control, um, the world stage, the national stage, your own neighborhood. If you can control something, yes, you can take action. But if you could wake up and do anything tomorrow, irrespective of what's in your wallet and anything else, what would it be? And is that something you want to think about pursuing? Again, to monetize or not? I think that is where the dream, the daydream, the night dreams, whatever it is, that's where it
Yeah.
starts. And for me, that was acting and modeling. I am a street portrait photographer. I had the opportunity to think about becoming an event photographer or a professional photographer of some other kind. And as much joy as photography brings me, if I had to choose on any given day, I would choose acting and modeling. So that's how I knew what to go toward. And that's why that question is important.
That's very nice to think about that. I was actually going to ask you what was yours, and then you just told us. So you threw that one out there for me. You already took care of that one. So let me ask you this though, because what you said you were a street photographer versus like an event photographer. What's the difference in those? Honestly, tell everybody that because when you say that, I'm thinking some people might be like, "Huh, what's the difference between those
The
two?"
biggest difference is who's in charge. Who are you doing it for? So if you
Okay.
hire me to shoot your wedding, I am obligated to shoot all of the things that go along with a wedding and to make you happy. That's a lot of pressure. That means I
Right.
need to be very skilled and schooled and an expert so that I don't let you down. Because the last thing you'd want is me to mess up your wedding pictures. They're fuzzy, they're, off center, whatever. That's a lot of pressure. I don't have that kind of skill when
Right.
it comes to being a photographer. I'm a people person, I'm an extroverted introvert. I love watching people, I love talking to a few of them. So I walk around the city of New York or whatever city I'm in, watch people, talk to them. And if I think they might allow me a snap, then I'll go talk to them, try to get a little bit of their story, put them at ease, and really enjoy capturing them, looking off to the side, looking
Mhm.
at me. And then I come back to my house and get to look at these images. There is no pressure. Nobody is paying me.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want with them. I can just leave them on my camera roll. I can put them in a book, and I'm so happy. I love looking at photographs of all kind, and I love knowing the story behind them. So that is the difference for me. I wasn't interested in developing my skill even more to become an
Mhm.
event photographer or a wedding photographer. I found joy thinking about representing my demographic in an ad or
Nice.
having fun in a commercial.
Well, I was gonna say, what was your like? Can I ask what was like your first acting job or modeling job that made you go, yes, this is filling me up right now. This is bringing me joy.
Oh, absolutely. I was in DC and someone suggested I should add this. My major in college was radio, TV, film communications. So I was producing video for many years. That was my main career. And I had the opportunity to start interviewing people on set, um, on on location and on set in the studio. So I started talking to them and really loved that. Somebody suggested, I don't know who it was. I wish I could credit them. Said, have you ever thought about doing background work? America's Most Wanted shoots in DC, and this was decades ago, and you should apply to be an extra. So I did, and I went. It was the most fun thing in the world. And then I started looking at other casting um, companies in DC, and I got into the mix. Then I started auditioning for things. I did a jewelry commercial, got to wear a Rolex and hold it up. It was so much fun. And I started doing more of it. Again, I had to push the pause button because I became a manager, but I knew in the back of my mind that I would likely go back to it. The what's the word? The oomph was coincidentally, my children are actors. The younger one majored in finance, but knew when he was a sophomore that he wanted to be an actor. And my older
Mm.
son worked in his major and decided that he wanted to become an actor. So they moved to New York 2 years apart, and they are film and TV actors. So that made me go, oh, let me take some classes and maybe I'll be a film and TV actor. Quickly found out, and people seem to be fascinated by this, that I prefer commercial versus film and TV. I've done some narrative film and TV work, but it didn't bring me as much joy. One of them asked me why. Thought about it and realized I don't consume as much film and TV as much as I do commercials. I love them.
Mm.
And most people don't. They're
Okay.
fast forwarding. I'm like, no, don't you dare. I want to see Flo. I want to see Jake from State Farm. I want to see whoever it is, the Jardiance lady. Oh my goodness, she's fantastic. And so that's what I want to do. So that's how I decided to focus on that, and that's what I'm continuing to do. There's also print modeling for hair, makeup,
Mhm.
and skincare, and that's I won't say low hanging fruit because every job is difficult to get. There's a lot of us and few jobs,
Right.
but those are the ones that I tend to focus on and love to get.
And can you share like obviously maybe not tell you said you were a manager in somewhere else. Did you completely go for those that like are thinking, oh, that'd be fun to do, but oh, I have like I'm an accountant. There's no way I could go into something like that. Do you feel that like you have to have some certain talents in a sense to get to that direction? I guess I'm trying to fix like if somebody's trying to think like what's next for me, oh that sounds like fun and oh Diane, that's
Yes,
pretty cool. But how do I even think about pivoting into something like that
very good question.
compared to like this?
Very good question. And a lot
Mm.
of people, just like when I was a video producer, they're like, oh, that seems like so much fun. How did you decide to do it? I went to school for it. It was my major. So you learn, just like you learn to be an accountant. You take classes, you get a degree, you learn to do it. At this stage, I took classes, realized, okay, I need to get better at this. I took lots of improv classes because commercials are real life situations. and you need to be
Hmm.
able to roll and bounce to have that free flow. I took lots of acting classes and am not opposed to continuing to do that. One on one coaching. So, just like anything you want to do that other people may think, oh, that looks easy, I can do that. That's the biggest compliment. Oh, you make it look easy. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of studying, it's a lot of research. And I always tell people, because a lot of people want their kids to get into acting. How do I get my daughter to be a model? Where do I start? It always starts with research. And then you can decide how you want to go forward. You may be naturally beautiful. The camera loves you, which are two things that are huge helps when it comes to modeling. Doesn't have to be, because real people casting, many of us are just not, what people consider beautiful, beautiful. We're average. But the world is, full of that as well. But you see what it takes to do that. It is not easy, for example, I learned to be a parts model. The person who holds this mouse, I am selling this to you, and I have to hold it. I can't hold it like this. That's pretty easy to know. But what I didn't know is you hold it like this 5 million times. And then you do this and you hold it another 5 million times. And they say move it, and it's this movement, not this movement. Hours and hours and hours of that. It's a skill, a craft, and something you really have to want to do.
Right. But also sounds like, again, you did that. So right around, am I hearing right, 58?
Yes.
Right, is when you kind of went to start taking all the classes. So again, it's not something like if you're like, oh, I'm in my late 50s now, there's no way I can do it now, I should have done it when I was younger. What would you say to that response?
Never too late. If you wanted to become an event photographer, I'm just going to use that, or a makeup artist. I don't know about makeup artists. I don't know much about that industry. But you certainly could go to makeup school. You can go to photography
Mhm.
school. You can learn. You can invest and become good at something. Never say never. Self-limiting beliefs are awful. And nobody else, if they tell you, Robin, you're too old to do that, shut them out, shut them up, and shut them
Right.
out. Even if you don't succeed
Absolutely.
because you don't love it, nobody has the right to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, even your partner. I am me. I
Yes,
need to do what brings me
100%. Yeah.
joy. Yeah, you have to do that. So, no. Now, if you said you wanted to learn skydiving and be a professional, if I'm your best friend, I would be like, Robin, can we think about this a little bit? So there are
Yeah,
limits.
no, yeah, I can guarantee you won't have to talk me out of that one. I am not one who's going to try and jump out of a plane.
Right.
My husband's been saying he wanted to go parachuting for the longest time. I'm like, absolutely, 100% no, that is not allowed. He's like, but I really want to, nope, nope, nope.
Exactly.
Maybe when we were 30, early 30s, but not now. No,
Right.
that's not happening on my watch. So
Yes.
no, you won't have to talk me out of that.
Right.
The worst thing you have to talk me out of is maybe the whole zip lining. I just did zip lining here in Colorado 2, 3 years ago,
Nice.
and I was already like, I was really nervous and scared about doing it. And then my daughter made a comment, oh, mom's not going to do it, she's going to freak out, because they were saying if you wrap yourself up you can go even faster. My daughter's like, yeah, she'll be lucky if she gets across it without screaming. I was like, no, that's not happening. I went on it, bundled up, and went as fast as I could get the thing going. And at the other end, I was like, I did it.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get enough. I wanted to get to the next one, to the next one, to the next one.
I love that. I love
So
that.
the motivation factor, right?
Yes.
And I think, like you said, the mindset is key on a lot of it, right?
Mhm.
Key on it. Like I find that women, especially when we're embracing our silvers and grays, it starts with us first. If we walk out the door going, I'm rocking this hair,
Yes.
then everybody else in the world sees you as this beautiful, confident woman. But if
Yes.
you walk out going, oh, I'm mousy today, that's the energy that you're sending out. So if you're not telling yourself, looking in the mirror, that I'm rocking this, how can you expect anybody
Yes.
else to think you're rocking it?
Exactly. Self-limiting beliefs, they're awful. We can't do it.
Yes, they're absolutely awful. We have to shut them down. Is there anything else you would like to share with us as far as like ageless living? Um, you personally, I mean, I know. Yes, yes, we have to. So even though your website is not up yet for your new stuff, give us where we can find you right now, so we can follow along for when you launch those things. How do we find you? What social channels do we go to for you?
Sure. Actually, the website is up. It's fledgling,
Oh,
basic, simple, but it is up. It is the start of my coaching practice. So it's pivottoyourpurpose.com. My Instagram, my primary Instagram, which we didn't talk much about this, but in a nutshell, focuses on positive aging, healthy aging, active aging, because those are the keys to longevity. And most of us, while we don't think too much about the ultimate chapter of our lives when we go to
right,
glory,
right.
we have given some thought into how we can live our best lives. So I focus on that quite a bit. So Diane Britt Smith is my Instagram handle, and that is where I show up
Okay,
primarily. Facebook is mainly for family and friends, but Diane Butts,
okay,
Diane Smith Butts, Butts, is my legal name, and I'm there. I will be launching a YouTube
okay.
page, not yet, but it will be Pivot to Your Purpose.
Pivot to your purpose. Well, I love that. I can't wait to see how you move forward with Pivot to Purpose and how you're going to help all these women because you're fun to watch. Your Instagram page is very inspiring. I love it when you do you'll share food. Like the other day, I saw a quick little reel and you were doing something with food, and I was like, oh, I got to come back and watch that video when I have time because my husband's going, come on, we're going out the door. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like, I got to go back and watch that. Like, so your energy is really great and
Thank
you
you.
really represent all of us so well. And thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. We'll have you come back and visit with us another time and share what's going
Absolutely.
on with Pivot to Your Purpose when you're fully in on it.
Yes.
And we will have another great chat.
Yes.
So
You are
thank you so much,
incredible.
everybody. Thanks for, oh,
You
thank
really
you.
are. You
Thank
really
you.
are. I'm glad we got a chance to meet today. I've seen you from afar, and this has been incredible. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. My heart just like melted just then. Thank you very much for that. So everybody go follow Diane and especially watch for her to do Pivot to Your Purpose soon. And we will catch you on the next chat, Aegis Lounge chat.